So today we're going to talk about how a place got its name. But this isn't just any story. This is about how a single moment of heartbreak and a literal miracle gave a name to an entire region. We're diving into an incredible legend from ancient Indonesia, a story of love, betrayal, and, believe it or not, fragrant water. It's funny. We see names on maps all the time, right? But do we ever really stop and think about where they actually came from? These names can hold these incredible echoes of history, myth, and so much human drama, and we often just drive right past them. Okay, so for this story, our journey is taking us all the way to the island of Java, back to the ancient Blambangang kingdom. This is where a region's name wasn't just chosen, it was forged in a moment of just devastating heartbreak and some truly miraculous proof. All right, so let's set the stage. We're talking about a time of kings and hunters deep in the super lush Blambangang kingdom, and it all starts with this one chance encounter out in the middle of the forest that was going to change absolutely everything. And before we get into the thick of it, you gotta meet the main characters. First up, we have Raden Bantering. He's the handsome, adventurous prince. Then there's Princess Surati, who is basically a royal survivor. And the third piece of this puzzle, her brother, Rupaksa. And you need to know one thing about him. He's driven by this single burning desire for revenge. So picture this. Prince Raden is out hunting, as princes do, and he gets separated from his men. He's just resting under this huge banyan tree when, out of nowhere, this beautiful woman appears. And this is Princess Surati. But her story is tragic. Her kingdom, destroyed. Her family, gone. She literally fled into this very forest just to stay alive. Well, the prince is completely captivated, right? By her story, by her beauty, and he immediately offers her protection in his palace. And what starts out as, sympathy, it quickly blossoms into real love. They get married, and for a little while, their life together is basically perfect. Pure happiness. But you knew it was coming, didn't you? This idyllic happiness, it was not meant to last. A figure from Surati's past shows up, and he's not there for a happy family reunion. Nope. He is there to settle a score and completely shatter the new life she's built. It's Rupaksa, her older brother. He's found his way to the kingdom. And here's the thing, he's got it all wrong. He's convinced that Prince Raden, her husband, is the one who killed their father. So he approaches Surati in disguise and tries to get her to join him in a plot to murder her own husband. And Rupaksa's plan is just so cold and calculated. To his own sister, he paints her husband as their father's murderer. But when she flat out refuses to help, he just pivots. He goes straight to Prince Raden and tells a completely different story. Your wife, Surati, she's the traitor. She's plotting with me to kill you. Before leaving his sister, Rupaksa does something incredibly cunning. He secretly places his own headdress, an item that would immediately identify him, under her pillow. It's this perfect piece of false evidence, just sitting there, waiting to be discovered. And of course, Raden finds it. His mind is already completely poisoned by Rupaksa's lies, so he searches his wife's room. When he finds the headdress, that's it. For him, all those little suspicions just harden into this terrible certainty. In his mind, this is the undeniable proof of her treachery. Raden is now just blinded by rage, and Surati is facing an accusation she can't disprove with words alone. So she's forced to propose a final, absolutely desperate test to prove her loyalty. And what she says next is just, wow. She makes this fateful declaration to her husband. She stakes her very life and her entire legacy on a supernatural verdict. She proclaims that the river itself will be her judge and jury. Her request is as horrifying as it is simple. She asks her husband to end her life with his keruh, that's a traditional spiritual dagger, and then throw her body into the river. She has such absolute faith in her own innocence that she believes nature itself is going to prove it for her. And this leads us to the story's tragic yet magical conclusion. This is the moment the prince acts and the river responds. Unable to see past his rage, Raden Bantering does exactly as she asks. He takes his keruh dagger, stabs his wife that he loved, and casts her body into the churning water below. And then, a miracle. Instantly, the murky, dirty river transforms. The water turns crystal clear, and this beautiful, sweet fragrance rises from the surface and spreads all across the land. Seeing that clear, fragrant water, it's like Raiden is snapped out of a trance. The rage is gone, and the truth just crashes down on him. He's been deceived, and in his jealousy, he has killed his innocent, loving wife. And that right there is the origin of the name. In the local Javanese language, Banyu means water, and Wangi means fragrant. You put them together, Banyuwangi, fragrant water. Overwhelmed with regret, the prince cries out the words describing the miracle right in front of him. Banyuwangi, Banyuwangi. And from that day forward, the kingdom and the entire region would be known by that name. The legend of Banyuwangi is such a powerful reminder that the names on our maps aren't just words. They're like these little archives of love, loss, and tragedy just waiting to be rediscovered. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? What stories does your town hold?